All right, so boys and girls, we're gonna review the actual math exam for chapter 3. So I'm just gonna pick a few questions. It's not gonna be the same exact question, but it's something similar to it. So I will illustrate it here on the whiteboard, and then you will help Miss Castro answer the question. So let's say I have, okay, I'm gonna draw some circles. Oh, you know what? Let me do some hearts. Heart 1, 2. Okay. So now, mm, okay, so here's an example of one question, okay? And I'm actually going to make the circles like if you have to bubble it in, because tomorrow you will have to bubble in. So one question that they have here, something similar to this, is mark under the word that matches the number of objects at the beginning of the row. So your job is to count slowly, don't rush, because when you rush counting, then you might end up counting the wrong number. So you're going to count together like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, these are your choices, okay? So you have to try your best to read the choices because your families are not going to tell you what the choices say. So try your best to sound it out. So if you know you have 5 hearts, 5, you listen to the first sound. So try to look for the word that has that first sound for 5. Who wants to help Miss Castro look for the answer? Scarlett, which one do I need to bubble in?
On the bottom.
Okay, so are you telling me this one down here?
No.
No. Okay, so is it choice number 1, choice number 2, choice number
Choice
3?
number 3.
Okay, very good, Scarlett. Yes. So Scarlett is correct. We are going to bubble in choice number 3 because choice number 3 is the word 5, which matches the amount of hearts that we have there. So boys and girls, that's one clue that you can do. When you count, listen to the first sound of that word that you hear, look at your choices, and try to figure out which word it is, okay? So that was one example. Let me give you another example. Okay, I'm gonna pick green. Okay, so one example of another question would be this one right here, where they want you to count the objects and then they want you to write the number on the line. So sometimes this is what happens, boys and girls, which is what I try to encourage you to label for this reason. Watch how I count. The pictures are in the shape of a circle, okay? They're not going across. So if I were to count like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that's not right. Because what I did was I went around too many times and I kept on counting because I couldn't remember where I started. That is the reason why I encourage a lot of boys and girls to label their illustrations. That is going to help you. So let's label 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to stop labeling there because the next one I see, it goes back to 1. So I know that I have to stop at 7. So if I counted 7 circles, what number is Miss Castro going to have to write on the line? What number do I write? Go ahead, Riley. What number do I write on the line?
7.
Correct. So whatever number that you count and label, that's the number that you write on the line. 7. Good. All right, let's do another one. This time, it's going to be a 10 frame. And we're pretty good with 10 frames now. So for the 10 frame, one example of a question could look like this. All right, so this is a sample of another question that they might ask you on the test. The question says, count how many counters are in the 10 frame, then write the number on the line. So since they give us the 10 frame and they give us the counters there, they're not going to be in color. It's going to be like a little bit black. It's going to look a little gray. So your job, what I recommend, instead of you counting with your finger, label the circles. It makes it easier. It makes it better for you to understand. Okay. So I'm going to label 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I counted and labeled 8, what number do I write on the line? Somebody that I haven't heard from yet. How about Eliana? Go ahead, Eliana. If I counted and labeled 8, what number do I write on the line, Eliana?
8.
Correct, 8. So you boys and girls have to practice forming the numbers correctly. 8. Good. All right, let's do one more. Okay. Here's another example that they are going to have. They're going to give you a word. That word is going to be a number. Your job is to figure out what the word says so you can write the number on the line. So the question says, write the word, write the number that matches the word. So look at the word, boys and girls. What will help you is at the beginning of your chapter 3 math books, there's some cards that if you pull it out of your book and you cut them up, those cards are vocabulary words that we have in math. And some of those cards have the numbers in words because you have to practice knowing the numbers as a word. So try to figure out what this word says. This word is a number. This is also very important to know the sounds of our letters because if we don't know it, then we're not able to figure out what the word says. Who wants to help us out with this question? Look at the word, and we have to figure out what number to write on the line. All right, I see Roslyn with her hand up in the air. So Roslyn, go ahead. Tell us what the word says. What number is it? I can't hear you, Roslyn. Unmute yourself.
9.
9. Very good. Excellent. So on the line, boys and girls, we're going to write the number 9. So again, very important, boys and girls. You have to be able to practice knowing the words of the numbers so that way you know what number it is. So this is going to be another question on the math exam tomorrow. That's why I wanted you to see this so you could start practicing it tonight, okay? So what I'm planning to do, boys and girls, is this. Your chapter 3 math exam, like I mentioned before, I know it's going to be snowing tomorrow and everyone's going to want to go out and play in it. To make it fair for all the families, I'm going to post up tonight on Google Classroom like around 6 p.m. I'll post up the chapter 3 math exam. If you want to get started on it today, great. If you don't want to do it tonight, that's fine. At least it's up there. It's going to be there for 24 hours. So that way, when you work on it, you have to give it in by tomorrow, Thursday, 6 p.m. That's the deadline. If I don't get it by tomorrow, 6 p.m., then I have to start taking points away for each day that it's late. So that's another reason why I want to make sure that all the families have 24 hours to be able to look at it. I'm going to go over with you the exam tomorrow morning, like I always do. That way, if you have any questions, you can let me know, and then I'll be happy to answer it for you. Okay. So I will be putting up the math test tonight, this evening, 6 p.m. And then it's not due until tomorrow, Thursday, 6 p.m. So that way everyone has a full 24 hours to work on that. Okay.